Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles, yo. Before we take any step further, Big Manscaped still in the building. Make sure you use code Brunson, save 20% off, and get the free shipping. And the free shipping, I fought for that for y'all. Listen, Christmas is almost coming. You need something to do real quick. You got some. You guys get some savings. Go do it, man. Get Manscaped, man. Take care of pops, grandpop, uncle, whoever you need to take care of. Listen, man. This is crazy. This is crazy that I even got to address this. I mean, we see the game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington football team. Cool, we get it. We get it. We get the final score. We get all of that. It was a lot of miraculous plays made in that game. But, Eagles Twitter, they kind of got this thing to where when it's a bye, they got to be negative about something. Even if the football team ain't playing. If it's something to be negative about during a bye week, the Philadelphia Eagles will try to do it. Period. You know what I mean? So, Micah Parsons balled out. You know what I mean? I'm on record saying that, that I would have liked to draft Micah Parsons. I didn't think he was going to look this close to a generational talent, but I wanted Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons completely took over that game yesterday, but Eagles Twitter is under the impression now, some of them, not all of them, are under the impression now that we missed on Micah Parsons. We missed. Now, if you miss on Micah Parsons, then you're saying you shouldn't have drafted, Devonta Smith. This is what I don't want. I hate it. You got to be grateful of some of the things that you got, Eagles Nation. This is a rebuilding roster. You got a competent wide receiver, period. You got a guy that's competent at his position. You got a guy with 700 receiving yards. When was the last time you had that? Since, like Jeremy Maclin? When was the last time come on. When was the last time you had a rookie look that good? You know what I mean? You got a guy with 700 receiving yards with 4 more games left. He very well could get 1,000 yards receiving on the season. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of positives. And on top of that, with him being this productive, that's production. That's production. On top of that, with him being this productive, you know what I mean? We throw the ball at least in the NFL. And he's still looking like he could get 1,000 yards receiving. He was drafted to be a number 1 wide receiver. And I would say he passed the test already. Dudes are doubling him. It's freeing up opportunities for other guys, but other guys got to capitalize. You can't look at Jamar Chase. You can't look at Waddle. You can't look at all of these guys and say, well, Devonta Smith ain't producing like them. What is it? You can't do that because Waddle went into a situation to where he wasn't really the only wide receiver on the roster. You see what I'm saying? Devontae Parker plays out there too. Them guys both demand attention. Jamar Chase went into a situation, you know what I'm saying, where he wasn't the only wide receiver on the roster. Tyler Boyd could play. T. Huggins could play. And he got Joe Burrow, you know what I mean, a pure pocket passer. Now, a lot of people want to look at Devonta Smith numbers and be like, well, if he had a more competent quarterback, his numbers would be better. Well, I'll ask you this question. Who was the last quarterback he played with and what was his numbers? It was Gardner Minshew. It was Gardner Minshew. And what was his numbers? You know what I'm saying? It's not all about what you want it to be about sometime. It is what it is. It is what it is. Now, Devonta Smith could have way better numbers, honestly, if the game plan was different. Period. He didn't get the ball in the last 2 games. That's a game plan issue. It's a game plan issue. But it is what it is, man. Devonta Smith, I couldn't be more happy to have Devonta Smith a part of this roster. Micah Parsons is great, but I'm not about to compare everybody to our first-round pick. I mean, how do you miss by drafting a Heisman-winning wide receiver? How do you miss? How do you miss? It doesn't even make sense. Which furthermore doesn't make sense is how other teams' coaches and players are giving him way more praise than we are. What do we want in Philadelphia? What do we want? We want it now. We got to be microwaved now in Philadelphia. Well, that's not how the world works. That's not even how professional sports work. Because some things got to gel together. You give me the last team that won it right away. That you could just get a bunch of dudes in free agency and that's a Super Bowl. It don't happen like that. It don't happen like that. Unless the most important position you get is quarterback, and then you start getting guys who want to play with that quarterback. Already are Pro Bowl players. Like what Tampa did with Tom Brady. In fact, nobody had to come over there but Gronk. They already had a wide receiver cast that was already together. Things got to gel together, man. That's the bottom line. Things got to gel together. And let's not be ungrateful about what we have. And let's start talking about some of the positives and the things that we do have. We have a young quarterback in Jalen Hurts who is still learning, but still got you in the picture for the playoff race. Who controls his destiny, who has the time to write his own narrative. You know what I mean? I thought it was ungrateful when fans were saying, well, take Jalen out and put Garner in. Jalen built this brick by brick. You know what I'm saying? Jalen got 99% of the wins that got you in this position. That don't even make sense to not let him finish out because you've seen one game against the Jets from Garner Minshew. Let's talk about, the tight end that we have in Dallas Goedert, who we signed, who's panning out. Let's talk about Josh Sweat, who we signed, who's playing well. Let's talk about some of the things we do got, the number one rushing attack in the league, and how we can impose our will on the rest of these teams moving forward. Washington is beat up. Did y'all not see that game? McLaurin might got a concussion. He might not play this Sunday. I can guarantee that. There's a high chance he's not playing. I wish him a speedy recovery. Who knows that? Who knows the status of Tyler Heineke? He didn't even finish the game. They have no offensive line. I see sweet meat in the village. And we out here worrying about if Devonta Smith was the correct pick. The guy who lead our team in receiving yards, if he was the correct pick. This is the Philadelphia Eagles. I got a news flash for you. Wide receivers usually don't lead this team in receiving yards. They don't. For a long time, it was Zach Ertz. Now you got a guy who could potentially be better than Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. And you got a bona fide wide receiver. And a number one rushing attack in the league. Like, what are we complaining about? You want to know what I do admire about Washington, though? But, this is what I admire about Washington. They always feel like they in it. Way more than Eagles fans do. Sometimes when things start looking sticky, we ready to, it was good while it lasted. We so used to being owed money that we haven't figured out how to act like we got money now. We got money now. We need to start acting like we got money now. Come on, bro. It only makes sense. Come on. We can act way better. Let's act like we got some money now. Act like champions. Champions don't quit. Champions don't see a couple bad series and say, the guy ain't it. Especially when we all know he got to develop. Come on. That's all I'm saying, man. We got a very important stretch of football coming up. Keys to Victory dropping tomorrow. Goat Talk again going to be on Mike channel. I'm going to be doing some collabs all week. This is a big game. And I'm going to be at the game. This is a big one. A big, big game. And I can't wait to see how our young players write their own narrative. I can't wait to see it. Let's stop writing the narrative for these guys and give these guys the proper chance to go out there and prove if they are as advertised or not. Or not. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man.